Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series. We are down to the finale here from the home of British motorsport, Silverstone. What a fitting venue to finish this first ever season of this championship. The Sim Racing Esport Union Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series. This is going to be an absolutely thrilling broadcast and a thrilling race as well. There you go, you've got the championship standings up on the screen right now. Ross Balfour leading the championship ahead of Jason Cooper, Patrick Kabinji and Fraser Smith third and fourth. Now the interesting news coming into this round is that Ross Balfour is unable to take part in this event, so he will not be winning the championship. That means Cooper, Kabinji, Smith and an outside shot of Petrozilo all within the shout of a championship win. Don't forget, it's a $500 prize fund in this championship that they're all fighting it out for. Hello everybody, my name is Paul Smith. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Samil Aurora, and Hugo Lewis is behind the scenes controlling all the cameras and the screens of what you're seeing here on the iRacing Esports Network. And Samil, we've had 5 weeks, 5 rounds of this championship. It all comes down to this, and Silverstone, what a classic venue to take part in this one.
Absolutely, it is completely fitting to the entire series that we've had so far. It's been full of dramatic racing, and to finish off right here at the home of British motorsport, what could be better? It's a long, wide FIA Grade A circuit, so the racing over here should be absolutely top class.
Certainly should, as drivers are out in qualifying at the moment. And this is going to be what a fitting end to the championship then. It is really all coming down to this, and it's going to be a shootout for it at the end here. I'm looking forward to this. You can see the lap times up on the screen on the left hand side there. Martin Asher is currently provisionally on pole position. We're looking at Andrej Rakovic from the team outfit there, but Martin Asher, we've not seen him up at the top of the standings before, but he was the quickest in free practice as well here, Samel.
Oh, that's very interesting. So Martin Asher clearly having a renaissance of sorts in this championship so far. He's had a bit of a scrappy year so far. I mean, a few mid-table results, but never quite able to dial things up and get that P1 slot in qualifying. But here he is right now with around 4 minutes to go with a good gap of 1/10 of a second. Again, things can change so very quickly in this championship, and especially at a circuit like Silverstone. But so far so good for Martin Asher as he goes in for yet another lap of Silverstone. Past Beckett's right now, coming towards Chapel, this quick left-hander, and back onto the backstretch. So what can Martin Asher do? Currently in provisional pole position, but the likes of Kabinji and Petrozilo not too far behind. Petrozilo in fact 8/10 of a second, so Kabinji's right there, but Petrozilo's got it all to do yet again as we now ride on board with him, coming towards the backstretch yet again.
Yeah, down the hanger straight then. So the second lap in this car is usually a quicker lap because of the rear tyres getting a bit of warmth and a bit of tyre pressure as well, air pressure in those rear tyres. That's what affects this car in qualifying. They will get about 3, maybe 4, the 3 laps in here in qualifying, because remember, when that clock strikes 0 in qualifying here, you don't get the time to finish a lap. That is it. That is your qualifying over here. But as we go around, Samil, why don't you take us on a lap of Silverstone here with Sandro?
Absolutely, coming into this quick right-hander, the first one. Just have to dial the car in, hit the curbs almost. This is a very tough one. It's a quick, long left-hander. And now you come into the braking zone for the arena section, for Village, the loop, and then Aintree. So here we come then, you have to dial the car in for this left-hander. It can get very tricky, braking at the right time, just balancing off the car, try not to get in the sausage curb, nail the power down as early as possible for Aintree, because then for the Wellington Straight you need a very good run, and from the looks of things Petrozilo has got it. It's a long back stretch, looking towards the braking point, towards the curve right here, braking the car in. You just want to make sure that you downshift initially at the right gear, because you don't want to downshift in the middle. Petrosiello going wide, you can understeer so horribly wrong. And then it's the classic long hairpin at Luffield, powering out at the right time, using a little bit of the AstroTurf, not too much, for this quick right-hander at Woodcote. Then past the National Straight for this rather short run beyond the bridge to the world-famous Cops Corner. Braking and turning, then you just have to commit so much. It's a corner where you require a lot of commitment, and if you go wide, oh, the iRacing police will be there to catch you out. Now for the iconic Maggots, Beckett's, slow the car down a little bit, downshift if you can, hold your car to the left-hand side, and then for Chapel. Nailed on the power as early as possible, because then you have to go on for this long run down the hang straight for the next corner. Oh boy, this is going to be a major passing zone down at Stowe. You have to look at the curves, brake at the right time. You don't have to brake and turn at the same time, because then this car can just fight back so horribly wrong with the understeer. Look at the commitment that Petrosiello is having to put into this one. Not going wide, just keeping the car safe enough on the circuit. Then coming in for this rather tough chicane at Vale. Using every inch of the curve, goes slightly too aggressive. You just have to make sure that the sausage curbs don't catch you out. And then for the final corner, rounding off the lap at Club. And that, folks, is one incredible lap of Silverstone. And that doesn't put Petrosiello really up the order. Just saves him up a bit more time. But Petrosiello still is in P number 3. Perhaps that oversteering moment that we saw at the chicane at Vale, just catching him out a bit over there.
Well, it is Jason Cooper then, who is provisionally on pole position, and I don't see anybody else out there who can improve on that time. So it is going to be Cooper then, who takes pole position here in this one, 45 thousandths of a second ahead of Patrick Obinji. And then it's Sandro Petrosiello who's going to be in third place. We'll get you your grid up on screen as soon as we can, as we head on into the first of the heat races. 5 laps. Well, it's the only heat race that we're going to have. 5 laps to decide the grid for the final in this race. So it is Jason Cooper, pole position ahead of Patrick Obinji in second place. Sandro Petrosiello, third ahead of Martin Asher in fourth place. Fifth then for Marian Hansel. Great to see him there for the Leipart Esports team, ahead of Fraser Smith. He'll be disappointed with his performance there in 6th place. Andrei Rakovic and Jon van Vend in 7th and 8th places. And Marcel Fritsch and Philip Eckhart. Don't expect to see Maximilian Fritz out there, because he's decided to just step aside. He's busy trying to administer the championship. So we'll be getting ready for the start of this race. The drivers are just getting themselves lined up now. It's a rolling start here, Samel. They start at the end of the Hangar Straight, so it's not that long to get any temperature into your tyres.
And that's going to be a proper problem. We saw this very thing, Paul, back in Barcelona, and turn 1 was a proper disaster. Yeah, absolutely, you can get a lot of temperature in when you go flat out at Abbey Farm and Village. But for that braking zone towards the arena section and Village, oh, it's going to be a proper tricky one here. Let's just hope that all these cars do not take each other out, because if things remain as they are, we could be in for a very, very good race. At a properly wide circuit like Silverstone, trust me, although the numbers will be diminishing, the battles are going to be intense, that's for sure.
Well, as one man who has struck a psychological blow at this point for the championship is Jason Cooper by getting pole position. He's the man in second place. With Ross Balfour not taking part today, he is in prime position right now to look at that championship. But Patrick Obinji, the man in second place on the grid, he is third in the championship. So they do get some little bonus points from this heat race here, but going into that final, that is where the big points are scored, and that is where we're going to get those results. But here we go then, into Vale, then Club Corner. They have to stay side by side at approximately 80 kilometers an hour to get until they get the green flag. So it comes quite early here, does that green flag. Waiting patiently, green flag is dropping, and we are away for the heat race here in the Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series finale at Silverstone. Down in towards turn number 1 at Abbey for the first time. 10 cars battling it out for this heat race, and Kabinji up in front then into the lead. He's got a nose ahead. Cooper looking alongside. They're both giving each other space, and Cooper's going to creep ahead, but Kabinji has the inside line for the loop. The next left-hander, they'll head into Aintree. This next left-hander heading down the Wellington Straights for the first time here tonight, and look at that, Petrozilo gets a great run on both of them. He's going to make his way past Kabinji, and he's also looking at the inside of Jason Cooper here.
3 wide on the first lap. Cooper swoops to the outside line and gets the move done. But here we are then, Kabinji having to battle for all his life with Petrozilo. Still going wheel to wheel, but Kabinji gets the jump. Now Kabinji and Cooper for the lead. Here we come then, past the hairpin. Onto the National Straight towards Cops. This is going to be a fun one. Cooper goes to the outside line. Kabinji's getting a bit naughty. Oh, he's not going to do it down the outside, is he? Settles back in. Petrozilo comes in and they make contact. Oh no, they almost went wide. Now Cooper goes wide. It could have ended far worse for both of them. And now Cooper is losing positions like a falling rock.
Well, you mentioned in that lap that we did on board in qualifying about the iRacing police monitoring the outside of Cop's Corner and Kabinji on lap 1. It's the worst lap to have that happen. Gets a slowdown penalty. Here's Petrozilo under Ashert now. Ashert was the fastest in practice. A little bit of door banging, and that's allowing Jason Cooper to try and break away at the front here. Ashert looking to the inside of Stowe Corner. Can he make the move stick? Well, Petrozilo for that Leipart Esports outfit around the outside of Stowe. That gives you the inside for the Vale, and if you could keep it there and then chop the nose off, because you can hold the outside line around Vale to get you the inside for Club, and that's exactly what Asher has tried to do there. Looking to the inside, but there's no room there. He's having to sort himself out. Meanwhile, behind, Fraser Smith and Marion Hansel, them two are battling it out as well. They're fighting it out, and they've got Rakovic trying to join in on this one. Great side-by-side action through Abbey into the farm. And well, Samil, this is exactly what we expected here.
Rubbing is racing, and we're getting to see exactly that in this heat race right here. Rakovic trying to get the opportunity in. Contact. Oh, Hensel makes contact. That was Smith, if I'm not mistaken. And boy, oh boy, the perils of touring car racing coming into line. When you get a bit too close, things like that can happen every so often.
I tell you what, that's a bit poor from Smith there. We don't want to see that type of retaliation there. But Eckhart to the inside now of Rakovic. Going around that wide won't help on the entry to Luffield, and here comes Kabinji. Now Patrick is having to recover here, Samil, because of that slowdown penalty on lap 1 into Cop's Corner. He actually touched the grass first of all before getting into the back of Cooper on lap 1. But right now, look ahead. It's a clear windscreen in front for Rakovic, but if you were to look behind, there's just mirrors filled with cars. He runs wide. Does he get the slowdown? I don't think he does. But here comes Kabinji now.
Kabinji to the outside of Maggots. That is absolutely ridiculous. They are still going door to door. And this man right here, you can clearly see he's got the pace. And right now he's got all his eyes and his intentions set on getting a good qualifying position after that debacle of a first lap. Comes back on to the back stretch, is the hang stretch, mind you. Heading towards Stowe. He's not going to get a lot of draft, mind you. Swerving around a little bit. Now Kabinji's under pressure. He's going to get attacked by Eckhart just a little bit. Eckhart comes in. Oh, there's a steaming Smith coming to the back as well. It is all kicking up right here, Paul. And heading towards the village section right now. This is going to be truly interesting to see how Kabinji comes close to Rakovic.
Well, there you go. You see the camera shot with all the cars sweeping through there. Smith, we've said that he's aggressive all the way through this championship. He's got the red mist down. It descended in front of his eyes. The lights are flashing from Eckhart. He didn't appreciate being pushed off the track there by Smith, but Fraser Smith up into 6th place now in that battle. Look ahead, because Kabinji is putting the pressure on as well. He's trying to make the move on Rakovic. He wants to get as many places as possible, because remember, the grid is set by the results of this race.
Absolutely. So Kubenji has it all to lose right here. Coming in towards the inside line. He's trying to look, but he has to go to the outside line because Rakovic chooses to go to the inside. You don't want to be a targetless torpedo right here. You just want to be so in control of your car. And so is Kubinji. Brilliantly swoops around the outside of Rakovic. They still do not make contact. And Kubinji, he's driving as if he's got a death wish, but it's working out so well for him.
Well, Brooklands is one of those corners, it seems a bit counterintuitive, but you actually want to defend the outside of Brooklands, because it gives you the inside to Luffield. Oh my goodness, look behind, they're still battling. It's Eckhart and Smith there. They're into Cop's corner now. Smith is going to try and get the cut back. There's a little bit of a bang into the back of Eckhart. I think Smith needs to just take a breath, take a deep breath. You don't want to get yourself into any trouble. As now, Smith is ahead, and there's Hensel making the move on Eckhart, and Eckhart is going to lose another place here.
Exactly, that is exactly what happens. You make one mistake at the circuit, and people behind you can swarm on your back like a pack of bees. And that's what's happening for Eckhart right now, losing positions ever so quickly. And perhaps he could be falling under the hands of Wendt back in P number 10 as well. Back at the top, things have slightly settled down because Cooper is leading by 1.283 seconds. So Cooper really enjoying the fresh air that he's got at the very top. And the fact that Kubinji's in here is really helping him out. Now though, Ashert at the back of Petrozilo as we begin yet another lap. It's already lap number 4, Paul, so time is running out for Ashert. From the looks of things, the intent is right here.
Yeah, certainly. Ashert, he wants to get the positions. As I mentioned, he was the driver who got the fastest warm-up time. He didn't manage to hook that up then in qualifying. Right now, he's actually got the fastest lap of the races, Martin. So he's got the pace in that Impulse Racing car as they head on through Aintree once again, down onto the Wellington Strait, of course, named after the World War II bombers that used to fly from Silverstone. This used to be an RAF base in the Second World War, before it was taken over to be used for motorsport. But look at this, on the roof of Martin Ashert then, in his Impulse Racing car. You can see the Leipart Esports car in front, a little bit of damage to the rear bumper. That's normal for a touring car, as they head on through into Woodcote once again. And right now, I think Ashert's just not close enough at the moment to take advantage of any opportunities that's coming up.
No, he isn't. He just isn't. And with these touring cars, you can really run very close to the other driver. But from the looks of things, Ashert just does not seem to be close enough. But let's see what he can do right here at Maggots, Becketts and Chapel. Takes a very shallow line in at Maggots, so he's clearly trying for something different to make things work around. And Petrozilo, though, is doing a superb job defending him out and trying to maintain that position. As you mentioned, Paul, in a touring car, damage is the usual thing, and Petrozilo knows that. And now Ashert comes back onto the hangar straight. Perhaps he's got something left in the tank at Stowe Corner. It's a tricky corner in touring cars, mind you. What can he do? He's looking, getting close, almost touching, but still staying safe.
Yeah, he's not quite there yet, but he's got the opportunities. I have noticed on our timing tower on the left-hand side how Philip Eckhart has dropped down to 10th place, the last of the runners in this race. And also there's a battle here between Fritsch and Wendt as well as they head on into the chicane. A little bit of contact, door banging there between the two of them, and Fritsch just welcoming Jon van Wendt to the series as he clatters over the curb there at the Exeter Club. And now Philip Eckhart is trying to pick off Jon here in front of him. Welcome to the TCR Heat Series.
That's a very warm welcome indeed. What can Wen do right now? Just being pushed out wide. That is the kind of aggressive driving you expect from all these people right here. And with the final lap going on, the stakes are even higher because the qualifying slots are on offer. Here we come then, another move being made. Eckhart trying to look down the inside line. It's a frisky one this. They are going wheel to wheel, need a better exit for entry. And Wendt has it done. And I mention yet because things could very well change in those last two sectors.
Certainly could. So then, second half of the lap coming up. Jason Cooper is 1.7 seconds ahead. He's clear at the front. It'll take a mistake for him to lose that lead. You've got Petrozelli and Martin Ascher second and third place. There's Cooper on screen. The Swift Cooper eSports car working its way through. A little bit of damage to the rear of his car from lap 1 with a little bit of battling and a little bit of bad damage to his car, but certainly being imperious up at the front. Now look behind because second and third place are still not decided, and this is Ascher's best opportunity out of Chapel now down the Hanger Straight, and he's closer than he's been to Sandro before. What can he do here, heading towards the down the Hanger Straight in towards Stur for the final time in this heat race? He's looking to the outside, late onto the brakes. Can't quite get the overlap there that he wanted to get. Try and get the run out of the corner, but he's not close enough to make that move in towards the Vale. He makes a lunge to the inside, but it's not going to be there. So it is going to be Jason Cooper who takes victory in this heat race and gives himself pole position for the feature race. Second place for Petrozelli with Ascher in third. Patrick Kabinji, great recovery drive from him, up to fourth place. Andrei Rakovic and Fraser Smith with Marin Hensel. Jon Van Vent is in eighth place, is he? Oh, well, our timing screen is changing. Yes, eighth place. Marcel Frisch in ninth. And Philip Eckhart rounding out the results there. That is going to be your grid as well, how it lines up there. So, really, Samil, we've just got a minute or so now before they get underway again. It's the final. This is to decide the championship, and Jason Cooper has got himself in the perfect spot.
He has indeed. Jason Cooper, of course, being the driver in P, number 2 in the championship. And because Ross Balfour isn't really competing, if it stays this way, he's got both his hands on the title. But that's the thing, Paul, it's TCR racing. It almost never stays this way. It's pretty much racing on alcohol. These drivers just go wild and do things that you never really expect them to do. And that is exactly why we love this series so much. For one last time, folks, for one last time in this season, these guys are going to go ahead and display exactly why they are some of the best TCR drivers on the iRacing service. Saddle up, folks, strap yourself into your seats. This is going to be totally chaotic racing at its absolute best.
Just before we get going, just to mention that there is going to be a second season of this championship starting in November, 20th November. Make us note of that in your diaries. Make sure you get in touch with the admins of the series to take part in it, because we always see great action, great racing. We want to see you on the grid for Season 2. But right now, it's all about Season number 1. The Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series finale by Sim Racing Esport Union. Jason Cooper, Sandro Petrozelli, front row of the grid, waiting for the green flag. Green flag is in the air, and away we go for the start. It's not the best of starts by Jason Cooper. Kabinji is coming to the outside of Petrozelli. They're almost going 5 wide. We are 5 wide into turn 1 here. At Silverstone, Kabinji gets collected. He's going to carry on. It's Cooper into the lead of this one with Rakovic second. Martin Ascher in third, and Kabinji, you can see him returning to the track. Oh my goodness, Cooper's off now. Your championship leader. He is off. He's dropped all the way down to 10th and last place.
Absolute drama at the very start. I was about to say that Kubinji has a dented car and a dented championship, but no, Cooper has spun out. He's at the very back, at the very top. Drama everywhere. Rakovic for team, leading at the very front. Asher is also going to the inside line. Oh my goodness me. We saw drivers going 5 wide at the very start. The stakes were high. But man, the risks are even higher. Lots of bumping and barging going at the back. But Fraser Smith is currently in second place because Martin Asher has made his way back up. What can I say? There is absolutely no time to take a deep breath and to calm down because this is going to go on till the very end. What can Jason Cooper do? Can he regain his lead on the championship? This, folks, is going to be utterly chaotic. Riding on board with Rakovic now.
It's how we love it. It is great action here that you're seeing here on the iRacing Esports Network. I'm glad you could join us for this one. Into Maggots and Beckett's then for the first time in this finale. 10 laps of racing for these drivers. Martin Asher, now I keep on mentioning he was quickest in practice and got the fastest lap in the first race. He is currently at the front. Petrozilo, you see him on the left hand side going into the distance. He's got a slow down penalty through Beckett. It's so easily done. Meanwhile, second place, Fraser Smith and Andrei Rakovic, the full send racing car versus the team car in towards the Vale once again. Smith going defensive, he's having to. Rakovic having to back it up, and here comes Marian Hensel now trying to make moves on Rakovic as he goes wide now. Great action on this opening lap of the race. We've got 9 laps to go yet, Saville.
And those sausage curbs wishing him really guten Morgen at that stage because he just bounced off that, and Rakovic losing a plenty of time. Those curbs right there, just ask Alex Peroni, they can wreck your race in a matter of seconds. Rakovic looking to the inside. Oh, this may not end well, but somehow keeps it clean as a whistle. And that's not something you'd kind of expect in a TCR race, but here we are then. Asher is just pulling out the gap of his life. 1.3 second. He's in exactly challenging for the championship, mind you. So for Smith, this is the place to be. But trust me, with Hensel behind, it could all change oh so quickly. And the interesting part is, Paul, Cooper has not made his recovery yet, and he goes wide.
He's not the other one. He's not the other one because Frisch went wide as well. So Marcel Frisch, he went wide. Patrick Kabinji, 7th. He's looking for 6th place here. He needs all the points he can get here to get one over Jason Cooper. Fraser Smith was certainly involved. Oh, look at this. Cop's Corner. I almost called it turn number 1. That's because, well, I'm old. I remember it as turn number 1. But through Cop's Corner they go. Hensel up into 3rd place, a possible podium. I tell you what, we're going to need an abacus here and mental arithmetic to be able to work on what's going to happen through this race here. I can't even get my words out, Samuel.
That's what the racing is like. That is exactly what the racing is like. And Rakovic is trying to prove it yet again. Here he is on Marian Hensel on the backstretch. You can see Cooper weaving around in the background. Rakovic to the inside line he goes. He makes up his mind and he sends it down the inside and gets P3 for himself. But Hensel has got the run of his life coming back on towards the Vale chicane. He has got the outside line. It's going to be super tricky, but he doesn't care. He's going to try yet again to the inside line for the club corner. Oh my goodness me! They are going wheel to wheel, door to door past the final corner. Rakovic to the outside and to the finish line. He has got the position, but there are still 7 more laps of this, and one certain Kabinji is back on your screens, Paul.
Yeah, he made the dive down into Stowe Corner to get the move done on Philip Eckhart, and I can tell you now, my timing screen that I have open at the moment, it is just completely red with all the action that's going on. Kabinji to the inside of the loop. He's taken advantage, but you can run that outside line. You get onto the power nice and early through Aintree. Goes Hensel, but Kabinji, Patrick, he's determined to win this championship, and he's giving it absolutely everything he can here. This is sensational action, and I'm glad you're all here to watch it, because I tell you what, this is, forget making a highlight reel of this race, just show this last race.
Exactly. He is driving like a proper Garahaldino, as the Italians would say. If there was a list of drivers who were the least docile, Kubenji would still be the last on that one. The way he's been driving today with such great intent, sadly it's been only in combat drives, but had he been at the very top, he would be dominating. Again, racing a sport of ifs, buts and what could have been, but Kubenji right now showing his intent on the circuit, and now Hensel has a million reasons to worry because Kubenji is right here, and Kubenji has a lot to worry about as well because Cooper, well, he is quickly making up ground on Wendt.
Yeah, you could see Cooper in the background of a couple of our shots there. In fact, you see him at the back of that queue of traffic there in the Swift Cooper Esports car. But here comes Patrick Kubenji. He's got the slipstream. He's got a double slipstream because Hensel has also got a slipstream. In towards Stur, it's still Rakovic and Hensel. And Kubenji's decided, well, if you're going to move out the way, I'll stick my nose in there and let's make it a good three-way battle. Looking to the middle. Are we going to go three wide into the Vale? Kubenji having to get squirrely on the brakes there. Hensel to the front, although Rakovic still holding on to that position. Hensel can keep the power down around the outside, and that gets him that third place. All of this fighting, however, is letting Smith and Asher pull away. That is something that Kubenji does not want here, but through the right-hander at Abbey, into Farm, the left-hander. This is where Kubenji can make a move. Rakovic looking to the inside as well. Three of them into the corner. This Eckhart is just sat back at the moment, waiting patiently for the opportunity. Great drive from Kubenji to the inside, but as I've mentioned before, you can carry the speed around the outside. Oh, Rakovic had to get out of that one. He dove out the way, and that allows Kubenji up into fourth.
And now Kubenji has made his way back up. Hensel is next on the list. Here we come then for Brooklands. It's a long one, and Rakovic goes slightly slower. Messed up his braking, so he loses time. And now Kubenji has a clear shot. He's locked and loaded. He just has to fire the bullet and get ahead of Hensel for P number 3. This would mean so much to his championship challenge. Remember, folks, it's the last race of the season. Everything has come down to this one, and Kubenji has it all to gain right now. Rakovic under pressure from Eckhart as we now come towards the Maggots, Beckers and Chapel section. You don't want to get too wide because, as mentioned, the cops on the cops corner, they can really come in and give you a big slowdown penalty. Eckhart closing in, Paul. Past Beckett's, heading towards Chapel. What can we expect? This has been some proper protracted drama here at Silverstone. And you know the best part? There's still a lot more yet to come.
Certainly, as they head on down through the Hangar Straight once again. So that, well, Kubenji to the inside. He's made this move before into Stur Corner, and Hensel, well, he was the next one on the list. He's been ticked off that list now. Kubenji up into third place here in this race. Oh, he's got the back end out going into Vale, and then Club Corner. That compromises him on the exit of Club. That's allowing Hensel now to get back on to the back bumper of the car in front, heading in towards Abbey Corner once again. This is exciting stuff. This is brilliant action. Jason Cooper has made his way past Philip Eckhart up into 6th place. So the championship is still on for Jason Cooper. This is great. Look at that. Philip Eckhart's going to lose another place here because here comes Petrozzello down the inside, and that's another place gained for Sandra. Again, another recovery drive here in this race.
Indeed. What is it with the Leipard cars? They just seem to have all the aggression in the world, and if that Leipard livery makes you go faster and more aggressive, hell, I want a Leipard livery as well. Now though, Eckhart fights back. He is having none of it. So then, he goes to the inside line, and they make contact almost. Fast and furious Silverstone drift. Eckhart keeps the car on the track. but loses a position, rather doesn't gain a position in the process. And now Petrozilo can calm down and take a deep breath. Or can he? Because Eckhart will still be coming in, all guns blazing. And look at the bumper on Cooper's car. It is as badly damaged as a glass wall with a sledgehammer smashed on it. Man, this is going to be some recovery drive for Cooper. Halfway in, he needs to catch hold of Kubinji and get past him. He doesn't have to climb in like a slow creeper. He has to climb in like an express mountain climber. What can he do now? Kubinji currently in P3. This ball is just leading towards probably the most dramatic ending towards the season that I've ever commentated on. And yet it's a different story that I've commentated on only 30-40 odd races, but still, this is incredible.
Well, this is certainly one of the most exciting finales to a championship that I've ever commentated on, and I've certainly been commentating a bit longer than yourself, but I can tell you, going into this round, Jason Cooper was on 37.02 points, Patrick Kubinji 36.75, so it's really close between those two. Fraser Smith 35.43 points, and Sandro Petrozilo was on 33.37. We'll hopefully get official confirmation once the race is over as to who is the champion, because right now I can't do the maths quick enough to be able to tell you who's in the championship position. I would say at the moment Kubinji is in the prime seat though, with him being only one place behind Fraser Smith, but never rule out Jason Cooper here. Ideally, he does want to sit behind Kubinji.
Exactly. And you know who do we need for some really good quick maths? Big Shaq. No, all the jokes aside, Cooper is making up positions. He is finding himself in P number 5. Rakovic isn't exactly an easy cookie, but he will be fighting back yet again to regain that position. He'll say, nothing personal, kid. I just want that position that you have.
But his job is nearly done here.
Absolutely, just has to keep calm and stay where he is. And you take a look at the way Eckhart is driving right now. He's much more composed, much more calmer. When we were approaching Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, his tail was sliding out as if it was Tadzio Nuvolari driving that car. And that can happen with the TCRs when you chuck it in with the aggression of a hungry hyena. Right now though, he's a lot more focused, a lot more sharper, and that is exactly why he's closing up to Petrozilo much more easier. Now then, taking a look at the progress of Cooper. He's in that beautiful Swift Cooper car that we've got right here. P5 ideally should be enough, but as a racing driver, it's a stake, it's a case of pride on stake. You want to do more, you want to do better, and the next man on the list is Marion Hensel for P number 4. With around 3 laps to go, Paul, do you think that Cooper will take that extra risk and get that position in?
I think he has to. I think he has to get as many positions as possible here in this race to be able to get himself the championship. Remember, your championship leader coming into this, Ross Balfour, was unavailable for today's race, so it is between Smith, Kubinji and Cooper, and amazingly, I mean, Fraser Smith is now 2.5 seconds behind Martin Asher. We've forgotten to mention about Martin all the way through this feature race, really, apart from lap 1. Martin Asher has done a sensational job here in this race to be able to, first of all, get to the front of the field, but now to be able to pull away at the front whilst all the chaos was happening around him at the start. That is a really good drive so far. He's still got a few more laps to go, about just over 3 laps to go before his job is completed here. But Cooper, look at him, he's on the tail now. He's getting closer and closer.
He is getting closer and closer, but will Cooper take that extra risk, put his foot in the water and try and get that position for himself? Let's see what happens right here, but currently around a couple of laps left to go till the end of this race. Coming towards the final couple of corners, Cooper, well, P5 is not too bad, but he can potentially win the championship, or rather secure and put both hands on it if he gets Hensel. And from the looks of things, Paul, the gap is shredding. Cooper is getting closer. Past the final corner we come to start yet another lap. Cooper is edging ever so closer on the diffuser of Hensel's car right now. And if you could see through Cooper's eyes, it would be blood red with a great shade of aggression right there. He's closing in, and oh, is he closing in rather quickly.
As they go into Village once again. Oh, a little bit of a different line taken. Cooper's trying to set him up now with the cut back here. Not quite going to work, but he is going to get the better run into Aintree. Carry that speed all the way down the Wellington Straight now, and Cooper is looking early. He's wanting to get this move done into Brooklands. Brooklands, of course, the oldest fixed circuit in the world, the first ever fixed racing circuit in the world, and it's the corner that's named after that one that gets Jason Cooper up into 4th place. But he needs one more spot here. He needs to get ahead of Patrick Kabinji, and with that gap there of 3 seconds, 3.1 seconds, that's going to be a very tall order in 2.5 laps.
That is going to be the comeback for the ages in any esports touring car race. He just needs to catch Kabinji and get past him. And I'm going to quote Murray Walker right here. It's one thing to catch up to one driver. It is a completely different thing to go past him, even though if the circuit is as open and as wide as Silverstone, Cooper just needs to put in the performance of his life. It's around 3 seconds the gap. Can he do it in the next couple of laps? It's the tallest order that you can put up against him, but he's a man not afraid to take up a fight.
After a little bit of maths by the series admins, thank you to Maximilian Fritz, by the way, who has put this series together and has done a sensational job with this championship. At the moment, it is Jason Cooper who wins this championship. He is only just winning this one at the moment, but there is still 2 laps remaining. And if is the biggest word in motorsport. Actually, he's just corrected himself now. He's redoing his maths. But I would say Cooper does need to get ahead of Kabinji just to really sign, seal and deliver this here. But it's a bit of a tall order as, well, you can see that gap there, 3.2 seconds. What Jason Cooper needs is for Patrick Kabinji to get a slowdown penalty either at the exit of Copse or into Maggots and Beckett's. So, yeah, this is going to be an intriguing finish to the championship. But Martin Asher at the front. Hey, look at this. 2nd place. That's got a lot closer all of a sudden. Fraser Smith is under serious pressure from Patrick Kabinji.
And the best part is, if Kabinji gets it for Cooper's championship dreams, that's a good solid bye-bye from the looks of things. Here comes Kabinji, gets a very good exit. We know that in touring car life, 2 laps can be a long time. And now though, Kabinji is trying to prove that to the fullest. Comes in. Is he going to make a move at the frightening Copse corner? What is he going to do? Is he going to enforce his way past? No,
look at that.
Waits, slides. Fraser Smith slides like a dolphin. Kabinji comes in. To the outside he goes. This could be the move for the championship on Smith. Here they are coming. Smith gets the line in right now, but Kabinji will not relent. He will keep on pressing and pressing at the back. Rakovic is on the tail of Hensel, but this is the battle that could define the entire series. Season 1 of the Heusinkveld TCR Championship. And here we come, Paul. Here we come then. Kabinji on the tail of Smith. This is the big one.
He doesn't need to make this move immediately, but he'd rather do that now than later. To the outside goes Patrick Kabinji to second place, or does he? Fraser Smith, we've seen what an aggressive driver Fraser is throughout this championship. It's whether it's controlled aggression is what he needs. Kabinji to the inside at Vale. He takes second place, and right now Patrick Kabinji is your championship leader with 1 lap to go. Fraser Smith flashes the headlights. He knows that it's trying to be a mental game right now to put Patrick Kabinji off in that core sim racing car. Through farm they go for the final time. And right now, Patrick Kabinji, he just needs to keep it on track, needs to keep it online, needs to make sure he hits all of his marks. Get your braking right. Don't cut a corner. Don't cut across the curb and the grass too much. Don't get yourself a penalty. So Patrick Kabinji down the Wellington Straight. He's pulling away from Fraser Smith. And right now, He's the one in the prime seat. Looking down further back on the Wellington Straight, I could see that Rakovic was having a little look at Marian Hensel. Nothing happening there so far, but he is pretty close here on this final lap. Tullerfield, but look at that, your race leader. What a drive at the front here. He's got half a lap to go, and he has done a sensational job, has Martin Ashert. He hasn't won a round of this championship all season, but what a time to get your first win in the series. Into Maggots for the final time. Beckett trail braking the car round the back end. You dance that back end around to get the car turned here. Out through Chapel for the final time. Down the Hanger Straight. Martin Asher has just got 3 more corners to go to get himself a victory here today. What a sensational drive here. As I say, Martin Asher, he was the quickest in the warm-up, in the practice session. He didn't quite get the job done in qualifying. He started this race in 3rd place after finishing 3rd in the heat race. But coming round, Vale and Club is going to be Martin Asher, who takes his first victory here in the Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series. What a victory for him. But we'll look back because the champion, the first ever champion of the Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series from Core Sim Racing, it is Patrick Kabinji. What a display, what a comeback from Patrick, and that was a sensational drive there. Congratulations to him, and that certainly is one that is going to be one to really savour there. But Patrick Kabinji, what a drive. Fraser Smith then 3rd place in this race, gave a really good effort and a really good display in this championship to be able to get himself 3rd place in this final round. And what a comeback as well for Jason Cooper in this race. 2 drivers who were at the back of the field at turn 1 and turn 3. They ended up in 2nd and 4th place here, Sumil. That was simply breathtaking.
Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Now that's the way to end the championship, isn't it? What a stunning race. I simply cannot get my mind around over what we saw. Drama everywhere. Kabinji having a nightmare of a first lap, and it was just aided by the fact that his main rival Jason Cooper also spun around at the very first corner. They made huge comebacks. They made incredible comebacks, mind you. But it was Kabinji who got the better run, and he in the end is the champion on the day when it all mattered. That, Paul, is one brilliant way to end the series. Man, I'm gonna miss this one until it comes back in November. Totally Chaotic Racing delivers as always.
Yeah, well, I could tell you the final standings, by the way. You did see them up on screen, but I will go through them. So it is Martin Asher who wins this race, 3 seconds ahead of Patrick Kabinji in 2nd place, with Fraser Smith rounding out your podium. In 3rd place, Jason Cooper. Brilliant recovery drive from him. He was facing the wrong way in the wall at Village Corner. He finishes 4th ahead of Hensel, Rakovic, and then Petrozila, Eckhart, Fritsch, and Vent did not finish. Here's the start then, Samil, and you called it. I mean, immediately, Patrick Kabinji, you see on the right-hand side, he's on the grass. He ends up going off at turn number 1.
He does indeed. That is disastrous for Kabinji's hopes. And that's not a light word, mind you. And then, keep your keen eye on Cooper, because then Rakovic taps him around. Oh boy. Cooper's going to have some serious words with Rakovic back there, because that potentially lost him the championship. That gentle, and I'm saying gentle in a rather sarcastic tone right here, that gentle tap that Rakovic gave to Cooper was the kiss of death sealed and delivered on the 3rd corner. That for Cooper was the end. And then, Paul, what a sight. 5 wide heading into turn 1. That is as rare as a blue moon. And then the swift Cooper car. Look at the gap he's built up for him. And then comes the big bang. The wrecking ball, poof! And it's Cooper's hopes and dreams shattered in a second.
Well, I will say, front-wheel drive cars, when you hit the brakes, there's no weight over those rear tyres. It takes the smallest
Indeed.
of contacts, and then around it goes. And here is the move that finished off the championship for Patrick Kabinji, got the run through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, onto the hanger straight with the slipstream, and then around the outside into the braking zone of Stowe. There's very little that Smith could do in that one because Kabinji was doing such a sterling job of working his way through. He did fight back. He did try and keep it alongside into the Vale. But once he got that nose across, that was the job done. And that was the move for the championship that sealed it for him. But right now, what we are going to do is we are going to have a quick interview with our race winner from this race. Martin Asher joins us in the commentary booth. And Martin, congratulations. What a display from yourself to take your first win in a feature race in this series.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I didn't expect this one as well. It was a messy start, but I think a good race and could keep Fraser behind, which also drove a good race. So yeah, that's a win. Very happy.
Well, that's it. I mean, you showed the pace in the warm-up, then you weren't quite able to get the qualifying time in there. But then in that heat race, you got yourself up into third place at the front of that second row, and that put you into that prime position to take advantage of what happened at the start of that feature race.
Yeah, definitely. The temperatures went a little bit higher, and I think I messed up on the cold temps with the setup. So I did some last changes after the quali, which I thought I did something wrong, and yeah, that turned to be out the good choice. So I think that was key.
Well, that's it. And as a whole, then Martin, think of the whole championship. It's been some fantastic racing, it has to be said, in this whole series. It's been a really good championship to be involved in.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a lot of fun. It's so close, the racing in the championship, and yeah, I think we all have a lot of driving skill in the series. It's a high iRating and high skilled people driving, which makes it a lot of fun.
Well, of course, yourself, you're with Impulse Racing. Anyone you want to give a quick mention to, any thanks whilst you're here on the broadcast?
Well, I want to thank whole Impulse Racing. It's my first win for the team. I think I certainly went into it. It's a lot of fun there, and yeah, with the whole team, and also my fellow TCR drivers helping with setup and stuff. I want to thank them all. So really good.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on getting the win in this final round of the championship. Congratulations once again, Martin Asher.
Thanks.
So there we go. That was our race winner. And I see that we've got our series admin here at the moment. Now, one thing worth mentioning here, Samel. Championship standings are subject to review because there was some instance happen in that race, and I could imagine that there'll be some reviews happen after this race to see what happens, because also the two words that I absolutely hate as a commentator that we have to bring up right now with a possible change at the top of the standings as well, drop scores. Because that result would be potentially Jason Cooper's drop score for the championship, which would actually make him the champion. So let's have a word with our series admin and just get his thoughts on the championship as a whole, and also looking ahead to season 2. So we'll bring him in right now. Maximilian Fritz from the championship series admin here. Thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. I've just mentioned it on the broadcast there. Two words I do not like as a commentator, because I always forget them, is drop scores that we have to take into account. So from a championship organizer point of view, what is the ruling at the moment?
Yeah, well, I'm doing all the maths for the moment, and it's quite a little bit tricky. And what I can tell for the moment is that we've got Jason with 45.66 points in total. We got Patrick Binji with 45.75. So that would make Patrick, would make Patrick the champion.
I mean, for a first series, for the first championship, you couldn't ask for a better, closer finish to the championship, could you?
No, definitely not. Because if I'm doing the math right, also Fraser Smith is with 43.93, quite close to the two guys. And it really was on the last overtaking maneuver from Patrick, which actually brought him the championship. And that is really incredible. And what a pity for Jason as well, getting punted on that first corner. And I've got to say it, or I think you said it as well, it really is due to the race control decisions after the race, if there are protests against it, and I'm sure there will be.
Well, that's it. As always, with any championship, they are always subject to review, those results. But we've got the image up on screen right now. Could you have imagined, when you started this championship, TCR drivers going 5 wide into turn 1?
No, absolutely not. I laughed myself like shit. It was really incredible to watch.
Apologies for the industrial language there, but we'll move on, because I want to get your thoughts on the championship as a whole. It was the first season of this championship. People didn't really know what to expect coming into it. What have been your takeaways as a series admin?
To be honest, I like the job as a whole, and I think we did a good job. The only problem is we need more quantity. Yes. We saw some really, really good racing, and you guys, if you out there are listening and you want to take part, just feel free to join us for the next season. We're going to start the next season at the end of November, and registries are going to open at the beginning of October. And if you like the racing that you saw, just feel free to join. We're always happy for some new competitors.
and where can people find out more information about the series as well, just to give that a plug? You've got a website, haven't you, the Sim Racing Esports Union? Yeah,
that's correct. We got a website where you can find all the information necessary for the season. It's the www.simracingesportunion.com, and then you'll just click through and join the Discord server, and then join the channels, and you can join through the series links on there.
And of course, if you do join the series, you will get to race against, I'm announcing it here right now, it is my intention to compete in this championship next season, because you'll get to race against Race Spot TV's own Paul Smith. It's going to be incredible. We've got the details up. So the registrations start on October the 1st at 0000 hours UTC on October the 1st. And the schedule as well, we've got the Nürburgring. We're going back to Nürburgring on the Grand Prix layout. Spa-Francorchamps, what a circuit we've got there for Spa-Francorchamps. Imola, that produces some fantastic touring car racing there. Barber Motorsports Park, not a lot of people realise how good the racing is at Barber. Circuit of the Americas, that's one I'm particularly looking forward to. I really enjoy Circuit of the Americas personally. I know it can be a bit of a Marmite track for people. Seabury International Raceway, what a way to finish off the season. Round 7 at Bathurst, and then round 8 at Silverstone. Once again, finishing off where we finished this first season. But finally, before we let you go then, Max, is there anybody that you want to just give a quick mention to whilst you're here? Obviously, the sponsors of the series, Heusinkveld Engineering.
Yeah, exactly. I want to say a big thank you to Niels, who supported all this, and give it a shot, because we just started for the first time for the first season, and it's not that self-explaining to to invest in such a thing, and there is a really big thank you. And to you guys, you really did a great job throughout the whole season. The camera work, the commentatory, really great. And I'd like to look forward to the next season and continue with you. Actually, then, Paul, not with you as a commentator, but with you as a driver.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a touring car specialist, so this will be a lot of fun. But Max, thank you very much. You organised a fantastic series. Me and Sumil and Hugo, we've all enjoyed commentating and broadcasting this series. It's been absolutely thrilling to watch, and we'll look forward to the next season.
Yeah, thank you. We do.
There we go then. Series admin Maximilian Fritz then join us in the commentary booth. Sumil, final thoughts then for the championship. Patrick Kabinji only just getting the championship in the end, but your thoughts of the series as a whole then?
You've put me in a bit of a spot, Paul. How do you sum up something so dramatic and so intense? Yeah, absolutely. If we have more drivers coming in, this should probably be one of the more entertaining iRacing esports series anywhere around on the sim racing community, because the sort of racing that we saw from the very first round, it has just been amazing. Yes, there has been a few drivers making a contact with each other, but that aside, the kind of drama that we saw towards the very end, and as you can see right now on your screen, Kubinji giving it his all, that I think is symbolic of this championship. You rub with each other, you make contact, and you put in everything that you have in it, but in the end, the racing, oh man, it's amazing. That's exactly why I tend to call it totally chaotic racing cars. It's racing on drugs, and that's why we all love it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure you've all enjoyed watching this broadcast, and I'm certain that you cannot wait to see what happens next season. 20th of November is the first round of the championship, so make sure you join us on RaceSpot TV and the iRacing Esports Network for that one. Just worth a quick mention, whilst we're on Friday night prime time, the Indy Pro 2000s, they're racing around Laguna Seca right now. Make sure you check them out on the network. And also, we've got IndyCar action as well at the same time, again on the iRacing Esports Network. So join Arjuna and Justin Prince for that action. They are racing at the WWT Raceway, so make sure you check out that broadcast. But from everyone here on this broadcast, from myself, Paul Smith, from Sumil Arora, from Hugo Lewis behind the scenes, does so much work behind the scenes for us here at RaceSpot TV. I always thank him for all his hard work here at this broadcasting company. Istvan Balo, trackcams22.com for our TV cameras. Until next season of the Heusinkveld TCR Heat Series, from myself, Paul Smith, it's goodbye.